I will die writing the history of my ancestors, spitting my heritage, not hanging on tree limbs with limp limbs while crowd not feeling pieces of humanity decreasing within them. My voice will not be hidden within the crevices of smiles in the park, will not be captured in souvenir jars with mama's hair and papa's nose. My blood will drip to the soil and spawn the rose that grew from the core of adversity. Hatred, slavery, cotton fields, the carcass of Emmett Till and Sinkay, spawned from the dirt underneath of slaves that pray, watered by Hottentot, Venus cries, southern rains, Asada's eyes, and Atlantic's liquid pain, fertilized by strange fruit and stranger fruit, and the stranger's fruit be like something like stomped babies and captured screams, cracked babies and aborted dreams, and afterbirth. Now won't you come see what a nigga's worth? Blanketed by white sheets, blue skies, yellow sun, and blue eyes, protected by prayers to God on the day of the picnic, by reverends who let out church early and said amen when they hung amen, guarded by blazing crosses in a complex too complex to recognize the simplicity of the equation, that not African, Caucasian, Asian, Native Americans, not Indians, or any other ends deserve to spend their heyday slaving. Fought against by leaders who deserve peace but couldn't play peaceful in their lives because of this place. Like Brother Malcolm should have been able to be just a lawyer or a king. Raised his princesses or push his daughters on swings. The panther should have been able to remain in the wild. An Emmett should not have been a martyr, hero, victim, but simply a child. And maybe this would have been able to be a love poem. Perhaps in my previous life, my love was not torn from my side, from my breast. If I did not have to nurture my enemies, maybe this poem could have been written in Twi, and everything would be Aye, which means good, and I would be spitting love bars under African stars, watching a God within a 6'2" deep North-South African man that wrapped a hand around my universe and drowned out this pain. But this, again, is me spitting my heritage, not some overglorified version of what could have been, because I'm not yet too desensitized to what is my heritage. My heritage got my light skin down New Orleans with white men who like men in their bastard performing light work and night work on their sexual needs. My heritage got me buying my mom's a t-shirt that said, my daughter went all the way to the Elmina slave castles, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt you see now. This hurts because I'm wondering why there are souvenir shops and dungeons and slave rooms, while we've allowed a government to throw capitalistic salt in our wounds. Because I ain't never seen no concentration camp keychains, no I was there decals. Our struggle has become their gain and our greatest cop-out. To loving a ghetto that never loves us back. To loving situations that break our back. So afraid that the air up there would be too good for our lungs if we were able to stand up strong for too long, because the air we smelt always been so wrong. Something like slave ships, like heavy rancid breath on the back of my great-great-grandmother's back when Master decided he could have that. Something like if anguish had a smell, if hopelessness had a smell. I'd imagine that's what we've been smelling for so long. And if that's true, I'd imagine that's what makes you sneeze and what makes it so necessary for God to bless you. I'm talking about my God is your God and your God is my God, and oh God, which God is right God, because there can only be one truth, right? Wrong. Right truth, wrong, but we've been believing it for so long that we had the gall to call it a religion. Placed it in a box and started wars to protect its perimeter, forgetting, sir, that one, God could fight his own battles if he felt it was just then. Just because you fighting in his name don't mean the two are just the same. And you can point the blame, but I'm at the point when I'm tired of pointing. Because when I scroll my index finger down the contents of my heritage, I see chapters on slave lines, hard times, and black on black crime. Yeah, I seen them chapters on King, both Rodney and Martin, but I remember when I lost my friend and started wondering when Bloods and Crips, blue and red, replaced the KKK with white hoods on their head. You see, nowadays we got black boys in white face with black hearts and white hate because they've convinced you that your communities are war zones. So you go and strap yours on, so willing to die for that very land that is owned by that government, supplying you with that metal and mentality that got you standing in the middle of your community but still feeling like you standing alone. Now, excuse me if I have to take a red pen to your rough rewrite of Mr. Lynch's instructions, but I got issues with those chapters that highlight our family suffering. I'm so tired of my elders wondering why our men are up to nothing. It is because while they're being raised by PlayStations, we play the stations that highlight their infidelity and wonder why they only play as station fixtures in their families. When memories make it hard to forget, when memory cards make it hard to forget that all your child wanted was next, not in that game, but in your life. And it sucks when you realize that very elements of your heritage are weapons of mass destruction. I'm talking about my heritage. My heritage got my sisters singing modern-day sorrow songs, got my brothers leaving their seeds in their plant stations, not because mass is not finished breeding, but because they see fleeing as a twisted freedom. You see, back in the day, Master used to take your kids without care. And now Master got to make you take care of your kids. Got them receiving governmental reparation checks for daddy's neglect. And now my sisters don't know the difference between struggle and independence. They've emancipated themselves from the family structure we once had, psychologically so eager to become both mom and dad, so afraid to give a little, not even let go. And I am wondering when Planned Parenthood will become a fact, because even roaches can just populate the ghetto. And any man can hit it, but I'm wondering, can you raise it? And you saying any poet can spit it, but you're wondering if I can save it, and yeah, I may never be the hero to my heritage, but at least I'm telling a story. And I'm not going to oversimplify the struggle or overglorify the glory, but I ask that you just not clap to or criticize the picture that I paint, because the truth is my heritage has been so ruthless, sometimes fruitless. I can't dispute this, but what you can do is fill in the blanks. Thank you.
We the best music.